The Steam winter sale is going to be coming to an end in a couple of days, and I'm sure many games have already been purchased, but maybe some of you got some Steam gift cards or some cash for Christmas, and you're looking for some recommendations before the Steam sale finishes in a couple of days. Now, well, since we haven't done our daily roundup this time around, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to be going through some recommendations. So I see 2 under 5, 2 under 10, and 2 under 15. So you've got a couple for each sort of bracket of budget, if you will. Now we're going to be starting with Undertale, which is in our 2 under 5 category, and it's £3.49 at 50% off. Now, I know this game has kind of been overhyped, but it does deserve the hype, as it truly is one of the most clever and innovative RPGs that I've played in quite some time. Not only in the gameplay, but the characters, the writing, the humour. It all comes together to make a really unique and very truly special package that you really have to experience for yourself. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. The only thing I'd say is if you're not really a fan of sort of bullet hell style of gameplay, this might not be for you, as of course that is the combat, and while it starts off pretty simple, it can get pretty difficult towards the end of the game. I mean, I struggled a fair bit on one of the final bosses, I'm not going to lie. And of course, if you do the other runs, because there's numerous ways you can play this game, not going to go too much further than that due to any spoilers. And one of the sort of harder runs, the boss on that is ludicrous to say the least. So take this as my warning, but I would still recommend this as a absolutely wonderful game. Really funny characters, well written, truly, you know, gives you some really strong feelings but towards the characters. It is special. Just go play it. It's cheap. Go and play it. Just go play it. Next one is a game that you probably already have played, but if you haven't, then it's basically free. It's Dishonored. That's £2.63. Now, of course, Dishonored 2 just came out fairly recently, but of course you will want to play the original before you play the sequel. And Dishonored, well, it has some flaws that Dishonored 2 did correct. I would say Dishonored is absolutely worth playing. I'm not normally keen on stealth games because, well, I'm not very good at them, to be completely real with you, but Dishonored is absolutely fantastic and is absolutely worth your time and attention. You know, you can play this stealthily. You can kill people, you can not kill people, and while it does have a bit of sort of black versus white morality system that directly impacts what ending you get and how the characters treat you, while it is a little bit sort of overall the gameplay and the world is really interesting and really well realised, even if the voice acting is a little bit suspect to say the least. You know, the characters in the game, apart from the main characters, are not particularly brilliant, but overall the gameplay is just so good and the world is so interesting that this game is still absolutely worth buying, especially when it's so cheap. So we have our 2 for 10. Now, next is a bundle that's slightly over budget by 28 pence, but I figure, you know, 28 pence, not really too big a deal, and this bundle is too good not to include. It is the bundle of The Binding of Isaac Rebirth and Afterbirth. Now, I've actually been playing The Binding of Isaac Rebirth recently. I actually bought it for myself in the Steam sale, and I loved the original game, but it had a lot of problems, including no controller support, and I was never able to get those third-party controller apps to work with the game, so I didn't play it as much as I'd like, and I've just been diving a ton into Rebirth. It's one of those games that you could easily rack up a couple of 100 hours before you even enter into the DLC. I would say that even if you buy Rebirth on its own, it's still pretty damn cheap. The bundle is £10.28, or the Rebirth by itself is £5.49. You do need Rebirth because Afterbirth is the DLC. But Afterbirth by itself is £4.79 if you already own it. But if you don't, if you like sort of roguelike games, if you like games that are a little bit disturbing but very hard in their gameplay and a ton of depth, all sorts of items, hundreds of interactions, you probably won't see the same synergies more than a couple of times for a couple of 100 hours. It's one of those games that you could really sink yourself into and is absolutely worth your time and money. Next up is Bioshock Infinite, which just scoots in under £10 at £9.99. Now, while this game got a lot of flack, I still feel like it is a really, really good shooter and a pretty strong addition to the Bioshock franchise, even if it doesn't really innovate all that much. You know, it is very similar in terms of gameplay. You've got plasmids, essentially. They are called something different, which I forget, but they are basically the same. But you've got a very different world and story and some really interesting stuff going on with the narrative. But even without all that high-minded stuff, it's still just really, really fun to play. So if you like Bioshock, and perhaps this one was a bit too expensive when it first came out, or you only just got into Bioshock, perhaps Bioshock Infinite is 100% worth your time, and in my opinion, one of the strongest entries in this particular series. And finally, we have our 2 for 15 section. Now this game has gotten numerous Game of the Year awards, both official and unofficial. I gave it one of my Game of the Year awards, for instance. Not very official, I'm sure you'll realise. But it is, of course, Doom, which is insanely cheap given that it came out this year. It is £13.19, 67% off. If you haven't played this game and you like first-person shooters, what are you waiting for? This is basically giving it away, given how recent this game is. It is absolutely fantastic. It is on everyone's Game of the Year list for a reason. Pure, unadulterated, old-school, high-action, high-speed fun. Go give it a bash. It will absolutely keep you entertained for several hours and just mean that you've constantly just got a grin on your face as you blow demons to pieces with a shotgun. 10 out of 10 would recommend. That's, again, why it's on my Game of the Year list. And to finish up a game that again is basically being given away, it is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt at 50% off, making it £12.49. Now you do also have the Game of the Year edition, which has all the expansions included. However, that is £20.99, meaning of course it is above our criteria here. I just thought I'd mention it because, you know, some people might just be thinking, oh, might as well get all the DLC while I'm here kind of thing. But even the base game is going to be one of those games that's like, oh, 150 hours, yeah, seems reasonable. This is a really good RPG, really well written, and it's great in terms of the NPCs and how they interact with you. You know, I love games like Skyrim and Oblivion and all that, but when the NPCs sort of stare at you, they just have that weird Bethesda face, you know, and The Witcher 3 just is a masterclass in how to do it. You know, these characters are really well realised, you know, painstaking amount of effort went into the animations to make them seem more real, and of course the story and the characters and all the side quests are really well done. And out of all the Witcher games that I've personally played, I've not put a huge amount of time into number 1, but I have put a fair amount of time into number 2. This has the best combat out of the lot, at least in my opinion, and is still just fantastic all round. I mean, this has won probably several boatloads worth of awards, and rightfully so. I mean, its expansion won an award over Dark Souls 3 this year, so that kind of tells you the kind of experience you're in for here. I don't think I need to tell you how good The Witcher 3 is. Everyone's been talking about how good it is since it came out, so if you've at all been interested in a time sink RPG that is just very well done, got exactly what you're after, my good friend. So those are a small sampling of some of the games on sale. I mean, I could be here all day recommending you games, to be quite honest with you. You know, there were games that almost made it. For example, South Park The Stick of Truth is here, Crypt of the Necro Dance is here, Gang Beasts is here, Broforce is here, you know, Duck Game is here. All sorts of games that I could recommend, but I limit myself to 2 per category for a reason. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the games, even if you don't end up buying them. I'm sure you got some games for over Christmas. Enjoy them, and I'll see you next time.